Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my privilege to open today this Nestlé Symposium in the ESPEN Congress in Lyon, which is the capital of gastronomy. And I hope that you enjoy the Congress as well as the food. ESPEN is committed to do more and more innovation and presenting more and more new concepts. And today, I think it's a good opportunity to look beyond the conventional formulas and try to see if we can progress in the field of enteral feeding, proposing new concepts, new practice, and trying to translate what are the needs of our patients into practice. I'm very pleased to chair this session, and we have also two very good and experienced speakers. We have Graham O'Connor, who is coming from the University College of London, and will speak about the real food-based formula. And we have Lisa Epp, who is coming from the United States, from the Mayo Clinic, and who has a lot of experience to share with us regarding these plant-based formulas that are not so frequent in Europe yet. What I want to say in the introduction is a little bit telling the story of my infancy. When I was a child, my parents were absolutely committed to farmer food. And I was growing in the country, and there was always vegetable, fruits, eggs, milk, any meat that we know exactly from where it was. And this was actually, for me, the standard. And this was the way to eat. The WHO defined what is healthy food. And healthy food should prevent us from diseases like diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and cancer. However, we could see in the recent decades a tremendous progress into processed food and urbanization and fast food and change of lifestyle that have changed a lot of our habits. People are eating now more food high in energy, more fat in the food, more free sugar, more salt, and not enough fruit, vegetables, and other dietary fibers or whole grains. So we changed these concepts of the farm to table to processed food, and you could see also the restaurant next to the Congress presenting some of this processed food. However, there is another trend that is existing now, which is some kind of culinary requirements according to the habits of the people. The Italian, the Lebanese, the British, the French, the Asiatic have not the same way of eating. They have all different habits. They try to adapt according to the place they are living, but they are attached to their culinary habits. I want also to share you another experience I had last year when I spent a sabbatical in Paris. And my first day in Saint-Louis Hospital, the head of the department, Elias Houlet, told me, I want to explain to you why this hospital is the best hospital of France. Because it has 37 restaurants next to the hospital. So he made a tour for me. And you could see that the Rubichat next to the hospital, you could find whatever you want. You could find vegetarian Vietnamese, and you could find Lebanese, and you could find whatever you could dream. And this is actually one of the trends of eating today in the world. And young people are really keen to go to these restaurants and try this new food. Another fact is the trend of eating gluten-free, looking for organic food, Vegetarian. People are more and more vegetarian. We have 10% of the whole world population who is vegetarian, and we have countries like India or Mexico that have even much more people eating vegetarian. Vegan is only 1%, but it is increasing also. Mediterranean diet is recommended by many organizations as one of the most healthy diets. Ethnic food, you cannot escape. You are used to the food of your parents, and you want to reproduce this food as well, and of course lactose-free and so on. But another trend has been becoming very important, which is the try to use less plastic, to use renewable energy, and to decrease the waste that is so important. And we have recommendations from the UN World Commission on Environment and Development that we have to try to develop meals that meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations. So no waste, try to be closer to natural food with less manufactured food. So these are the changing concepts that we are experiencing in our daily lives. And you can see that from the farmer food we get to the processed food, and now to the organic or the vegan or the ethnic or the sustainability. What about enteral feeding? Well, there is a long history of enteral feeding in the past with the Egyptians, but definitively this made a progress only in the 19th century, with successful use of gastrostomy tube and jejunal tube that became a preferred feeding route when people were not able to eat. And Baron and Fallis decided that the manufactured preparation can surpass is not existing. The best is the natural food, prepared by eggs, milk, fruit, vegetables, or steak as well. But definitively, the progresses that were appearing in the industry tried to create chemical-defined diets that may provide the adequate nutrition support and maintain a normal physiological function in humans. And these commercial enteral formulas are aseptic. We know exactly what is inside. This is requiring much less labor, and it is a decreased concern regarding sanitation and viscosity. So the history of all these products, you can see, are not so long. You have the first caseinate hydrolysate introduced in 1939, the first automatic feeding pump only in 1940, and then the first commercially powder mixture providing carbohydrate, fat, and protein, and some vitamins and trace elements. And NIH requiring to create a purified, chemically defined diet that will provide what is now quite a standard diet of 50% carbohydrate, 30% of fat, and 20% of protein. You may discuss this composition, of course. But in between and together with that, there is a new progress toward whole food nutrition. Because when you look to the commercial composition, you can discover that the sugars that are existing in the formula are not always optimal. It may be based on maltodextrin, or corn syrup, on brown rice syrup, or maple syrup, fructose, sucralose, etc. And definitively, the fermentable fibers, the monosaccharides, the polysaccharides, the disaccharides, the polyalcohol can cause intolerance, can cause bloating or diarrhea. On the other hand, when you give too much fructose or corn syrup, there are also GI disturbances, such as bloating and diarrhea. We have said to our patients, this is what we can give you, and you have to live with this intolerance. However, we know that we can provide some protein from many sources. And you can see that, of course, you have the meat source, but you have also beans, you have also peanut butter, you have also seeds, tofu even. And you can see here that the knowledge regarding the constituent ingredient in enteral nutrition are different according to the source of the protein. You may have whey or egg or milk, casein, soya, beans, and the differences in the protein efficiency ratio are significant, and the biological values as well as the protein digestibility corrected. So, of course, you have to choose in an adequate way the protein that you will introduce in your formula. All these oral nutritional supplements have been associated with nausea, with vomiting, with flatulence, abdominal distension, and diarrhea. And when you look to this caffeine study on 306 patients in 4 months, you can see the number of digestive complications that are occurring and also the incidence rate of this complication. And they are not small. So we have here a problem that we have to overcome. And one of the possibilities that is now offered to us is to use food that is real food, that is maybe plant-based, chosen according to health benefits, or organic food, that can be prepared and administered through a pump to a tube. Of course, respecting the requirements of the patients. And this may be a big changer in our concepts, because we have to listen to the patient and to his requirements, and maybe understand that what we are administrating is not always what the patient is willing. So we also look for the safest food, and blenderization should include, of course, required and micro and macronutrients, an aseptic condition, a long storage life, and therefore I can propose to you this trend in parallel to the trend that is appearing in our society, way of eating, from natural food to commercial natural food, back to whole food and blender food. So definitively, this is what we will listen today, how we are able to evaluate the tolerance of this new food, how this is close to the alimentary habits of the patients, how the technology is able to administer this food in the best way. So I am very pleased to introduce the next speaker, who is Graham O'Connor, and he will speak about the new trends in using real food-based formula in enteral nutrition. Thank you very much.